Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening all. This is Ravi Shankar. So this time I am handling for you income tax 1. So in this class we shall see some basic concepts of income tax. Firstly we shall see how the income tax has been originated. So actually in the year 1857 the government was incurred heavy losses on the account of military mutiny. In the sense in Kannada we used to call Sipahi Dange Bharatada Prathama Swatantra Sangrama. So due to that, in 1857, the government of India has incurred huge losses. To recover those losses, in the year 1860, Sir James Wilson has introduced first time in India income tax. So that is what income tax came to India in 1860 because of military mutiny. So it has introduced by Sir James Wilson. And this income tax was governed by the income tax presently, the Income Tax Act of 1961, which was came into force in 1962, April 1st. So this is how the income tax came into existence. Canons of taxation. It is bit important for 6 marks. So canons of taxation, these canons as given by Adam Smith, who is an economist. So on this base, the entire tax runs. So Adam Smith has given totally 7 canons of taxation. We shall discuss one by one. Firstly, canon of equality. So canon of equality in the sense, the amount of tax means the liability of the tax should be, that means the burden of the tax should be equal to everyone. In the sense, it is not an amount of tax should be equal. So on the base of income level, the tax amount should be, or the tax should be levied. So that is what, for the richer people, the tax amount should be high, and for the lower level people, the tax amount should be less. That is what, on the basis of income level, the tax should be charged. So that is what canon of equality. And canon of certainty in the sense, the tax amount should be a portion of the income. It should not be an entire amount of the income. The tax amount should be a portion of the income. So that is what canon of certainty. And canon of convenience, it says that the place, the time and the manner of the payment should be convenient to the taxpayer. So tax yaar kadtare avrige place, time matte manner avrige convenient agirbeku, not for the government anta. Canon of economy in the sense, the maintenance of that particular tax should be economy in the sense, ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಖರ್ಚಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಖರ್ಚಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು most of the portion should be used for the country welfare. Next, canon of simplicity means the mode of calculation and the mode of payment of tax should be as much as easy possible. ಎಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. It should not be complicated enough. ಸೊ ಇದರ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಮೋಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸೊ ಅದು ತುಂಬ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. canon of coordination in the sense, so there should be a coordination between the tax leviers. Means now see, for example, the central government will levy few taxes and the state government levy few taxes and the local governments will levy few taxes. So there should be a coordination between these government at the moment of levying a taxes. So it should not become a double taxation at any cost. So the canon of coordination in the sense, there should be a coordination between the tax leviers. ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ನ ಲೆವಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಅವ್ರ ಬಿಟ್ವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಎ ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ taxpayer. And canon of flexibility in the sense, so the income tax rules and income tax act should be updated according to the present era. So it should not be old enough. Flexible in the sense, it should be keep on changing according to the need and requirement of the present situation. So present situation ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆ ಒಂದು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. So these are the canons of taxation which has given by the Adam Smith. It is pretty important for 6 marks. We shall see some basic concepts of the tax. The first term here it is tax. What is this tax? So tax, it is a compulsory contribution made by the citizen of nation to meet the various expenditure of the state. So in a country, what and all expenditure will incur, to meet that expenditure, it is a compulsory contribution. Contribution is like a gift. Contribution made by the government, that means people of the country to the government will cut as a ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸೊ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಒಂದು ಪೀಪಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ನ ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ದೇ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಫಾರ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್, ಫಾರ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್, ಟು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಯಾಲರೀಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ employees. So like this, so they required what is it, they'll be having more expenditure. To meet that expenditure, the contribution what is made by the people we will call as a tax. So tax are in two types. So one is direct taxes, so another one is indirect taxes. So taxes are in two types. One is direct taxes, another one is indirect taxes. So what is this direct taxes? So there are two words. One is incident and impact. So there are two words, incidence and impact. So if the incidence and impact on the same person, that is called direct tax. Keep this in mind. If the incidence and impact falls on the same person, so that is called direct tax. What is this incidence? Incidence in the sense liability of making payment. Andre tax yaar katbeku? Who is liable to pay tax? So that is called a incidence. And impact is nothing but a burden of paying tax. Yaar katta idare. So that is what incidence and impact, liability and burden, if falls on the same person, that is called direct taxes. And few cases incidence and impact will falls on the different persons, two different persons. Incidence ಒಬ್ಬರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, impact ಒಬ್ಬರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So that is indirect taxes. For example, see direct tax ಗೆ example income tax. The person who earns the income is liable to pay tax. In addition to that, he has to bear that burden. ಅವರೇ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು. ಯಾರು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರೇ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು. That is direct tax. Because here liability and impact, that means incidence and impact both are falling on a same person. Even professional tax, the person who is earning, who is a professionalist, he will be having both incidence and impact will fall on a same person. Incidence ಮತ್ತು impact ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So that is direct taxes. So where the incidence and impact falls on the same person, that is direct tax. So for example, direct tax example yadad barutte, income tax and professional tax. You can take the best examples. And indirect tax where incidence and impact falls on a two different persons. Incidence matte impact two different persons mele bidre, that is indirect tax. For example, see GST based example. GST. So what is this GST? Goods and services tax. If a company manufactured one particular product, so actually the end user of the product is liable to pay tax. So on the product na final agi yaar consume ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, end use yaar ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, is liable to pay tax because he'll be receiving services. But on behalf of us or on behalf of the consumer, the particular company will pay tax to the government. Later on they'll collect. That is a secondary. See here, liability falls on the consumer, but burden falls on the company. So liability consumer ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ, burden company ಮೇಲೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ. So that is what here the incidence and impact is falling on two different persons. So that is what indirect taxes, where incidence and impact falls on a two different persons, that is called indirect taxes. That is what tax include two terms, direct taxes and indirect taxes. And the next term here it is assessment year. So this is according to section 2 and subsection 9 of the Income Tax Act 1961. The word it seems mentioning assessment. What is assessment? Assessment is nothing but a calculation or computation. So assessment year, it is nothing but a calculating year. That's it. So assessment in the sense calculating. Assessment year in the sense calculating year. So if they ask for 2 marks, you don't write. So what is assessment year in the sense calculating year? So just for your understanding purpose, I am explaining this. So if they ask for 2 marks, what is assessment year in the sense? So assessment year, so the period of 12 months starting from 1st April and ending on 31st March of every year. Means here what happen, assessment year ಮತ್ತೆ previous year ಗೆ difference ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, so ಈಗ ನಾವು ಈ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ 2020-21. So this is the present financial year. ಈಗ ನಾವು 2020-21 ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಇಯರ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗೋವರೆಗೂ ನಾಟ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಅವರ್ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಸೇಕ್ ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಪೇ ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ 2020-21 ನಾವೇನು ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಇದೇ ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಗೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ. ಸೊ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಟಿಲ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಡೇ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಈ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇದಾಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಯಾವ ಇಯರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ತೀವಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್, ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಯರ್. ಸೊ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ 12 months, start with 1st April and ends with the 31st March of every year. And we can say, so it is an income assessed year or tax calculating year anta karibodi. So this assessment year is a income assessed year or tax calculating year which comes the next to the previous year. Previous year ಆಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದು ಬರೋದು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಗಿವ್ ಎನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. 2020-21 ನಾವು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸೊ ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಪೇ ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸಿಮ್ಸ್. ನಾವಿಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ 2020-21 ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 2021-22 ಕಟ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ 2020-21ಗೆ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಯಾವುದಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರೋ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸೊ ಅವರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ 2020-21 ಇಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್. ಇದು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸೊ 2019-20 ಏನು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಸೊ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇದು ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್. ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆರ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಯರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ಡ್ ಇಯರ್. ಸೊ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ period of 12 months. We start from 1st April and ends with the 31st March. So where we are going to compute or assess the tax of the assessment. That's why. And next the term previous year. As I told earlier, previous year it is an income earned year. So even it includes the 12 months. So previous year is the financial year immediately preceding the assessment year anta helbodu. Or else in other terms navenu helbodu, so the year in which income is earned is known as previous year. It is an income earned year. Previous year ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೊ 2020-21 and the present previous year it is 2019-20. ಸೊ 2019-20 ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ತೀವಿ, 2020-21 ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಸೆಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್. So assessment year falls under the section of 2 subsection 9 and the previous year falls under the section 3 of Income Tax Act. And next we shall see few definitions. As like we seen in assessment year and previous year, we shall see few definitions. Firstly, person. So out of this we can expect any 2 for 2 marks, that assessment year, previous year, person, assessee. Still there are few more concepts. So about that we can get any 2 mark question. So who is person or what is person? So here for few concepts we cannot give the exact answers, but on behalf of we can tell what it includes. So that is what we will tell. Income tax includes including definition and excluding definitions anta barutte. So income tax alli inclusive definition matte exclusive definitions anta barutte. So according to that, so person annodike we can't give the exact meaning, we can say what it includes. Person alli enen barutte anta. So according to the section 2 subsection 31 of Income Tax Act, person includes, so these are the 6 concepts. Person alli enen barutte, so ee ondu 6 concept barutte. So yarar irtare person alli andre, so person includes an individual, a Hindu undivided family, a company, a firm, an association of persons, AOP, a local authority, an artificial juridical person. So these are the things, or these are the points which includes in the head of the person. Person includes the following anta helbiಟ್ಟು, so ಈ ಒಂದು 7 ನ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. So that is what person. And next assessee. So this is according to the section 2 subsection 7. Assessee, then who is assessee? Assessee is a person. Assessee is a person who is liable to pay any tax or any other amount to the government according to the tax or Income Tax Act. So according to the Income Tax Act, the person who is liable to pay tax or any sum payable to the government is called assessee. Assessee andre income tax prakara ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಒಂದು 7 heads ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡ್ಯೂ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಸಿ. ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅವ್ನು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಐದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಪೆನಾಲ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಫೈನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಅದರ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್. ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇಫ್ ಈ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಸೊ ಹೀ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ assessee. So assessee is a person who is liable to pay tax or any other sum payable according to the Income Tax Act of 1961. This assessee includes 3 terms. One is assessee, so another one deemed assessee, and the third one assessee in default. So idರಲ್ಲಿ 3 terms ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು assessee as we discussed earlier, another one deemed assessee, so another one assessee in default. So already we discussed for the concept of assessee. So assessee is a person who is liable to pay tax or any other sum payable according to the Income Tax Act to the government according to the Income Tax Act of 1961. Then here there is a term deemed assessee. What is deemed? Assumption. Deemed is nothing but assumption, right? So actually is not assessee, but we are assuming. So then who is called deemed assessee? So deemed assessee is a person who is not only liable for his own income, he is also liable for others' income to pay tax. Few times, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸರ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಗೂ ಅವರು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಸಚ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅ ಡೀಮ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಸಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸಿ ಎ ಮೈನರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಗಾರ್ಡಿಯನ್. ಸೊ ಎ ಮೈನರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಗಾರ್ಡಿಯನ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಸಿ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ 2 persons, ಮೈನರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಗಾರ್ಡಿಯನ್ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಎನಿಯೋ ಗಾರ್ಡಿಯನ್ ಈಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಓನ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಸರ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೈನರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. ಮೈನರ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಅವನು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಫಾರಿನರ್. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಏಜೆಂಟು ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಇನ್ ಅಡಿಷನ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಫಾರಿನರ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. ಸೊ ಡೀಮ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಸಿ is a person who is not only liable for his own income, he is also liable for the others' income. So he is called deemed assessee. And assessee in default. So what is this assessee in default? Assessee in default in the sense, few times income tax will provide few legal obligation to the person to fulfill. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸರಿ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಸಮ್ ಲೀಗಲ್ obligations which has to fulfill by the person. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಆಬ್ಲಿಗೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಈ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಫೇಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ದೋಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ assessee in default. Assessee in default in the sense, so those assessees who are failed to fulfill the legal obligations provided or given or guided by the Income Tax Act of 1961, they are called assessee in default. Say for example, if a income tax asked a person to collect a professional tax and pay to the government. ಈಗ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಯವರು ಅಥವಾ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವರ ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಫೇಲ್ಡ್, ಸೊ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗೆ ಏನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಫೇಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಅಂದ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇ ಫೇಲ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಆಬ್ಲಿಗೇಷನ್ ಏನು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿತ್ತು ಅದು ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಸಚ್ ಕೇಸಸ್, ಇನ್ ಸಚ್ assessees will called assessee in default. Those assessees who are failed to perform the duties assigned by the Income Tax Act or the provided by the Income Tax Act, we will call it as an assessee in default. And next, as we discussed earlier, assessment is nothing but a calculation or computation we can tell. Assessment ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಹೆಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. ಇನ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ಸ್ 5 heads. So we are discussing about income tax. So because our concept here it is income tax. So heads of the income, if you come to the heads of the income, this is according to the section 14. Income tax includes totally 5 heads. One is income from salaries, income from house property, next one. Next, profits and gains from business and profession. And next, capital gains. And next, income from other sources. So that is what. So if there is a relationship between employer and employee, so employer and employee relationship is master and servant relationship is if the assessee is earning anything, it comes under income from salary. If any income arised by the houses, so which is using for let out purpose, it should be owned. Own houses let out purpose ge use ಮಾಡಿ income bandre, it comes under income from house property. If income arises from the business and profession, by doing a business or by the profession, if you're getting anything, it comes under business and profession. By transferring a capital asset, if you're getting anything, it comes under capital gain. And those income which do not comes under these 4 heads will comes under the head income from other sources. In 4 head alli yaad baralla adu ee one 5th head alli barutte. So that is what heads of the income. And next concept, gross total income according to section 14. Gross total income, it is a total of all 5 heads of income which we discussed earlier before deduction from ATC to ATU. So there are deductions from ATC to ATU. So it is a total of all these 5 heads of income. What are these 5 heads of incomes are there? It is a total of all the 5 heads of income before deductions from ATC to ATU is called gross total income. And next concept, total income. So total income, we can tell in 2 manner. So it is the total of all the 5 heads of income after deduction from ATC to ATU. This is one manner. So total income, it is a total of all the 5 heads of the income after deduction from ATC to ATU. Total income. And one more manner. So total income, it is a income. Total income is a gross total income after deducting deductions from ATC to ATU. So both are the right answers. So gross total income in the sense before deduction, total of all the 5 heads before deduction. Total income in the sense total of all the 5 heads after deduction is called a total income. These are the few concepts which comes under the income tax. So ನೀವು ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ you supposed to keep assessment year, previous year, assessee, total income, gross total income. So these concepts are most important. So to solve some few problems, these concepts are most important. In next video, I'll come with the few problems on residential status. That is also 6 marks important question. In next classes, we shall see residential status. Okay, thank you.